How you doing? This is Brotha T. If you want to support the channel, we have t-shirts and other merch right there in the description. Just hit the link.
You were a star child, let your light shine for all the world. When you open your mouth to reveal a pearl, let it shine more, just to light the path. If it don't add up, man, just do the math. If it ain't for you, let it pass on through.
How you doing? This is Terrion Wilson, aka your boy Brotha T, here with another one. So we like to call this channel T's Life Tree, and on this channel we like to give you little pine cones of wisdom. If you don't know what that is, stick around, stay on the channel, you will get it. All right, before we get started with the episode, I need you to like and subscribe, because when you like and subscribe, we can continue to give you those pine cones of wisdom. So today I'm going to give you 6 things that you can use to step into the new you, right? So let's say you've done your work, right? You got rid of the old you, right? You probably went through the dark night of the soul. If you don't know what that is, check my episode on the dark night of the soul. Pretty much something tragic happens. You had to get that cry out. You had to get that purge out. You had to remove all the toxicity out your life, and now you're ready to step into a new person, the new version of you, the better version of you, not the completed version, but the next evolution. You are the you 2.0 now, right? So you're starting to do new things. Let me help you out a little bit. I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can do that, right? That'll help you out. So let's get started right away. Let's go into number 6. I want you to don't be afraid of the unknown, right? No matter what it is. When you start to go, especially on a spiritual journey, spiritual path, it's going to get a little scary, especially at first, right? Now, once you get used to stepping into things that you really don't know and learning new things, then you start running into them head on. It's almost like if you don't have anything new to learn or get into, you start to feel funny about it, right? Like, no, I need something, But when you first do it, that first transition can be a little scary. So don't be afraid to step into the unknown. If you're not sure about it, just keep studying, learn more about it, right? Especially when you're talking about spiritualism, right? Let's say you were religious all your life, but not necessarily spiritual. There's a difference. And you're stepping more into the spiritual side of things. Don't be afraid of it. All right, whether you agree with it or not, whether your old religion agree with it or not, it's not going to hurt you to learn it. Just because you're learning it doesn't mean you have to do it, right? So there's nothing wrong in learning something new. All right, so don't be afraid of it. Number 5, I want you to start focusing on you. They won't like it. When I say they, we're talking about the people that you had to kind of leave behind. You still love them, right? But you're not thinking on the same wavelength as them. They're not at the same vibration as you, right? They may want to keep going out and hanging out several times a week. You might be on something new. You might be focused on your life purpose at this point, and you might be focused on becoming a better you, and that'll involve hanging out less, right? So you might want to tell them, hey, I'm gonna take a chill on that. Hey, I still love y'all though. I'm trying to do something great here. And if they have a problem with that, they weren't your friends in the first place. All right. So when you start focusing on you and somebody gets jealous because you're focusing on you, they're not your true friend. Maybe they're an associate, or maybe they're a person that likes to take advantage of you, right? So when you take that away from them, then of course they're going to feel abandoned, especially if they have, if they're clingy, or if they have abandonment issues. Of course they're going to feel away when you do that. Just tell them, hey, I love you. Hey, we still cool. And yes, I'll hang out. It's just going to be a lot less because my focus is going towards me now. I need to make myself a better version of me. And then every now and then, hey, we can still go out and hang out and do our thing. It's just not going to be every night. It's not going to be 4 times a week. It might be once, might be twice, might be on Saturday only. I don't know. But start focusing on yourself first. They're not gonna like it. All right, so number 4, I want you to be unshakable, be unrelenting. And what do I mean by this? I want you to be confident in who you are. All right. Once you start to get to a knowledge of self and you're stepping into this new version of you, I want you to be confident. I want you to be unshakable. I want you to be unrelenting. When I say unshakable, that does not mean you can't learn new things. That doesn't mean people can't tell you anything. That means that you're not going to go back and forth. You're not going to waver. I gave you the example of the friend and hanging out 3-4 times a week. Being unshakable, you're going to say, no, that's what it is. We're not either not going to hang out, or we're going to hang out once instead of 4 times. If you're shakeable, then you're going to say that, and then the next week you're back to hanging out 4 times a week, right? I want you to be unshakable, right? That's shakeable. I want you to be unshakable. That's all I'm saying. Let's go to number 3. No matter what you do, no matter how you do it, there are going to be some people that will reject you. So I want you to get used to rejection. Now, rejection can be a hard thing, especially when you're not confident in yourself. If you have certain things going on, like let's say you have self-esteem issues or something like that. Yes, rejection, you can take that hard. If you have any kind of fear of rejection or abandonment issues, yes, being rejected, you take it hard. So when you start becoming the new you, some of your friends is not going to want to hang around you. That same friend that's trying to hang out, you know, they are who they are. But you're going to have other friends that are going to be like, oh, you think you better than me? Oh, you think she, yeah, I ain't rocking with you no more. So get used to that. People in your family, they might reject you. Get used to that. They might do it at first and then come around later, right? Because they'll start to understand that, no, you're not going to start treating them worse. You're just doing something that works for you. All right. So get used to that rejection. Get used to it. All right. So let's go to number 2. Number 2, I want you to create new habits. And I want you to be aware that habits are hard to break, especially habits that created addictions and things like that. We at T's Life Tree, we understand that nobody's perfect out there. I'm not trying to portray myself as perfect. I have things that I have to work on daily to become a better version of me. And I recognize that in you too. So I want you to remember that if some of those habits have such a hold on you that it's still hard to break them, and they connect to your shadow side or your lower self, we're not throwing everything out with the bathwater. We're not saying, hey, you can't rock with us no more because you're still, no. But what I'm saying is create new habits. Create new habits that replace the old habits. All right. And like I said, old habits are hard to break, especially if they worked for you in the past. But if you do not create the new habits, you definitely going to go back and start forming those old habits. Have you ever known somebody, or are you that person that had a drug addiction? You kicked it, you felt great, oh my God, it's going good, and you fall right back into it? A lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times it's because some addicts go right back to their same habits. They don't necessarily go right back to using, but they might hang out with the same people. All right, they might go, to the same houses. Let's say I heard a story, and I don't mean to be laughing, but it's kind of, it's like duh. But somebody got off crack, and then they went back to the crack house because they became a Christian. They went to the crack house to preach to the other crackheads to try to get them off. Not recommended. I'm just saying. You kept those old habits, and it might have worked the first couple of times, might have worked the first couple of weeks, but eventually, you get what I'm saying? When you're used to doing that, and then you thought it worked for you back then, you can get right back into it. So create new habits, which means same scenario. Hey, I get off whatever, and I'm not saying don't minister to drug addicts at that point, but do it in a different setting. Don't go to the house where they sell it, right? So bring them to a meeting, create a meeting, you know what I'm saying? Become a part of Alcoholic Anonymous or whatever, Narcotics Anonymous is what I'm thinking of, and become, get in there, for yourself first, help yourself first, and then get to the point where you can lead the meetings, right? Right? You're doing the same thing. You're still ministering, and they come to you, but you're not in that setting. It's a new habit. That's all I'm saying. All right. So let's go to the next one. Number 1, I want you to change your paradigm altogether. Now, this is going to tie into some of the other ones I said. So what's a paradigm? A paradigm is the way you think. It's your overall way of thinking, right? The way you go about life. That's your paradigm. when you change your paradigm, you create a whole new life for yourself. You're the same person, and yes, you're on the same planet, and yes, you have the same everyday things going on in your life, maybe, you know, aside from any addictions and things like that. So what you have to do is create a whole new paradigm, way of thinking. I'll give you an example. Actually, let's go to the same example, right? So you're a person, you were doing crack, you get what I'm saying, but you kicked it, and now you're leading the Narcotics Anonymous, right? You're doing that, you got all that together, right? So those were the new habits. Now you have to create a whole new paradigm, which means when you go home, you might want to look at better programming, right? You want to, if you became a Christian, you might want to listen to more gospel music. You might want to look at gospel programming. You might want to look at a preacher that you like specifically. You're changing your paradigm. You're changing your overall thinking, right? So change your paradigm. And I just give you that as an example. If you're not really on the religious side of things, just look at better programming, right? And there's programs out there for everybody. That's why they make YouTube, right? You can look at Brotha T all day. I don't care. Oh yeah, I had to throw that in there. All right, so you can look at me. I'll change your paradigm for you. If you look at too much of me, you're going to become something totally different, right? People are going to look at you 3 or 4 months from now and be like, who is this person? I don't recognize him, but I like him, right? And there it is. All right, so let's do a review. We're going to do all 6 for you and throw them on the screen. All right, so first of all, number 6, I want you to don't be afraid of the unknown, right? Don't be afraid to step out of there. There's a song on Dreamgirls, I think, Step Into the Bad Side. Except in this particular case, you're not stepping to the bad side. You're stepping into the new you. Number 5, start focusing on you. They won't like it though, all right? But focus on you is very important if you're going to make it to that next step of your evolution. Number 4, I want you to be unshakable, be unrelenting. If you're going down a path, don't deviate from that path to appease other people, especially. So number 3, I want you to get used to being rejected, because people will reject you. It's going to come with your new way of thinking. Trust me, get used to it. Number 2, I want you to create new habits, because habits are hard to break. Create new habits, very important. And number 1, change your paradigm or the way you think overall. This has been your man, Brotha T. I really enjoyed this episode. If you made it to this point of the episode, I know you rocking with me, and I'm rocking with you too. That's right. That's why if you leave a comment, I'm gonna talk back to you. That's right. I promise you. So let me get off of here. I'll see you on the next video, family. You're gonna enjoy that too. Peace.